Alright, so I wanted to go over another example here on this one. It tells us what tangent is, which is just 3, and then we need to find out what cosine and sine are of that same angle. So I'm going to use this information to help me draw out a right triangle. Again, you just draw your own right triangle and put theta in one of the corners, and then use your trig ratio to get some of your side lengths. Remember, tangent is opposite over adjacent, and right now we have 3. You may have noticed it has a number here, but it's not a fraction. But luckily, you can turn it into a fraction. You just put it over 1. Ta-da! And so we know that opposite is 3, and adjacent is 1. So opposite 3, adjacent 1, which means we don't know our hypotenuse. And to get sine and cosine, you need hypotenuse. Luckily, hypotenuse in this case is our c squared, and our other sides here are, oh sorry, not c squared, just c, and our other sides are a and b. And so we can put it in our Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. 1 squared is 1, 3 squared is 9, and so c squared is 10. But we don't want c squared, we want c, so we'll square root, and we got c is the square root of 10. So now we have our hypotenuse, and we can write out sine and cosine of our theta here. Sine of our angle is going to be opposite, 3, over hypotenuse, which is square root of 10, and then, cosine of our theta here is going to be 1 over square root of 10. And much like yesterday's, these are not simplified because they have a radical in the denominator, and so you have to deal with that. And the way to deal with that is to multiply the top and bottom by the square root of 10. Just that radical that's on bottom. Square root of 10. And that'll give us 3 root 10 on top. And on bottom, square root of 10 times square root of 10 is the square root of 100, which is 10. And this does not simplify, and so that's our sine of theta, 3 root 10 over 10. And a similar thing happens here on with the cosine. The top becomes 1 root 10, which is just root 10. And the bottom, again, is the square root of 100, which is 10. And so that's our cosine of theta. So don't forget to simplify your radicals. Simplify your fractions. If there's a radical in the denominator, you got to rationalize it by times top and bottom by that radical. And voila, you got sine and cosine. So there you go, another example. These ones are pretty quick, but it's just practicing the use of these trig functions.